Hi everybody, welcome back to Shell Star Stitches. Hope you're doing okay and are having a lovely weekend. It's lovely and sunny down here, a bit windy, but yeah, the sun is out. I've got washing on the line. It'll probably chuck it down tomorrow, but hopefully the washing's blowing around and will dry. But yeah, welcome back. In case we've got any new viewers, I'm Michelle, and I'm Shell Star Stitches. This video for you today is going to be a roundup of my Toft Natural History Museum workshop that I went to last night. So it was after hours in the Natural History Museum, and we went and did the white Ermine, which was, we knew what we were making, but we didn't know obviously the design of it before we went. So yeah, what I will do is I will put some footage in here first for you of what I've collected. Sorry, can't find my words, tired. And then I'll come back to you afterwards and I'll show you what I've got here. And then, yeah, I'll see you in a second.
Welcome to our workshop. I know we do have some new faces for this evening, as well as some of you that I feel like I've seen a lot recently, over the last few weeks. But we do have some very new faces. So just to make really clear, this is a really casual workshop. It's not formal teaching, it's intended to be social, and this one, more than ever, I would encourage you to leave your seats. We are in a very special place with lots of inspiring things to see. So don't feel like you have to just stay in your seat throughout, but actually a few surprises up our sleeve this evening. Right, so the final thing to say really is to acknowledge the photographer, because I really do love this photograph. And so this is Jose, who is the photographer's first name too. We kept up that tradition, which thankfully I've managed to pick a different animal and a different photographer's name by coincidence every year. So long may that tradition last when we are bringing these animals to life. So let's start with the crochet. So we're going to cover techniques-wise tonight. Firstly, I'm going to show you this standard, non-standard form, creating leg hole thing. Then rejoining to actually do your legs. Then we'll break and I'll basically let you get on with that bit for a while. Then I'll rejoin you and tackle the loop stitch. Some of you will be familiar with the loop stitch, some of you it might be new to the loop stitch. It will divide you, some of you will love it, some of you know you already hate it. It's not that much, don't worry, it's not too bad. And then we will also be finishing off the pause with a feature that has not been used before, and that is the actual, I really wanted, because of the photo that I've chosen, obviously for me the pause that leap out of the pads in the pink were essential to put in. And so we're going to be doing some make model work on the surface.
Right, so that was the footage I took from last night for you, footage and videos. I will pop at the end, I've got some photos sort of not from the workshop, but we went up to London a little bit early and had a mooch about, did a little bit of shopping, so I'll stick those in at the end because they're not really crochet related, but in case you fancy seeing them. So yeah, the workshop started, well, the ticket said 6:35 on them. We were let in a little bit after 6:35, directed through the gift shop and then round to the Wildlife Photographer of the Year exhibition, because that's where it was all based, that you could see in the video. So yeah, sort of 5-6 people per table, long tables. There was a big central, I think it was part obviously of the exhibition of seeing the photos in the middle, which kind of impeded a little bit how we could see Kerry in the screens. But obviously they have to sort of set it up how they can with the available space. It was again very dark in there. I don't feel quite as dark as Darwin, because you had all the Wildlife Photographer of the Year photos, so it lit up the room a little bit more. So yeah, it was so started at 7 and it went on till technically Kerry finished sort of talking just after 9, because I think one person, bless them, had to creep out for a train, and Kerry said, I don't want anyone feeling uncomfortable. So she sort of wrapped up, and then they were there till 9:30. So when we got there were teas and coffees. I didn't have one because I'd had a few teas. We just had not long had one in Starbucks before. Other coffee shops are available. And also I didn't want to take a drink in where the crochet and the patterns were, because that's a recipe for disaster. We've learned that before. Got to see the other Ermine picture, which was really nice. There was a third one, but you had to flick through a screen, which I didn't realise till the end. But yeah, so some good pictures. Funny enough, the one that Kerry picked, they're all from different photographers. So it's not one photographer has taken all 3 pictures of the Ermine. But yeah, the one she picked was cute. So yeah, we got the train up there yesterday left here just before 11. And then got back just before midnight with the train. So yeah, got about 10:15 train from Victoria to get us back. So we did it all in one day rather than staying over. So let me show you without further ado the pattern card, which you will have seen in that video. But this is what we are making. So this is Jose the Mountain Stoat. So he is a stoat. It's a white ermine. And this is... It's all on one pattern card, which I do like, but I would like pictures of the behind and stuff, but I did take some luckily from the day, from last night, so you would have seen those in the video. So it's good to see like the back of it, or from the side. So we've got, so this is, as Kerry kept calling it, standard, non-standard form. So we're making holes for all the armholes and legs and the tail, and then attaching them and carrying on crocheting, rather than making a full body piece and then attaching limbs on. So it is slightly different. I got up to around 29 of my body, which I'll show you in a second. But it does look like a fairly simple, quick make. There is loop stitch on the tail. I am not good at loop stitch. You guys will know this from when I had the Rebecca Q workshop. I tried to do the headpiece, which was all loop stitch, and I struggled with it. But that was loop stitch increasing and decreasing. I think this is just loop stitching with no increase decreases when you put them in. So hopefully I'll cope better, because I didn't cope very well with that. Right, so this is my box. We did get, so I will show you. So I've taken the pattern card out of the front, hence why everything looks like it's falling out. So we got 75 grams of cream. We've got 25 grams of peony, 25 of charcoal, and 25 of fudge. Now we've been given fudge as well, because Kerry said with this mountain stoat, when they're going through their sort of, as she liked to call it, the scabby phase, they have a brown head, and the top part of the tail is brown. So she's included fudge. There was one person, I think, who decided to have a go at that last night, but I've just stuck, well, I'm doing the body at the moment, so I'm stuck with the normal cream. Haven't decided yet on the head. Stuffing, you get your wool needle inside as well, sorry, excuse the noise. There's a wool needle tucked in the back there. But we also have, again, because it was a natural history museum, another head torch. I didn't use mine last night. It is charged, there we go. The orange and white light, just the orange, just the white, and off. So I've now got like 3 of these, which is quite handy, because you get one every time you go to a natural history museum workshop. So I'm collecting them up. But, you know, I just find that they don't sit as well on me when I'm there. I've managed it when I've done it from here, getting sort of sit in the sofa in the right sort of position. But this is, so I don't undo this, how far I've got. This is how far I got last night, which isn't bad because obviously it is just standard. I've got my holes here for my two legs. If you can let me fold it this way, you might be able to see that one. There are 2 holes, one on each side, that line up for my legs. When Kerry showed us, she was like halfway up and it looked like a pair of pants. But look, there you go, leg holes. And then on the back we have a tail hole. So it's just making sure in terms of tension. So obviously you've got the 2 leg holes and the tail hole. When you get up here, making sure your arm holes are on either side of up here. I'm just getting to that point now, because otherwise you will sew in, like you could have one arm over here and one arm here. So you need to try and, Kerry said looking at everybody's tension, we should be okay. But if you need to, you just kind of need to adjust it yourself to try and make sure they line up. So we'll see what happens there when I start to do that. But that's not bad considering I did all this in the dark. So I didn't use a head torch. So it's got a nice little ridge around the bottom for where it sits, which is good. So that is as far as I got last night. So I'm going to carry on. They've now started a new little getting started leaflet in the kits, which is quite cool because we used to get a card the size of this, which you can't really carry around with you. So now you've got a little getting started leaflet. I know this isn't quite the pattern, but this is quite interesting and quite handy because then you can shove that in like your project bag or whatever with you, and you've got QR codes for all the different videos to show you all the different techniques. So I really like that. I think that's a really good, improved, upgraded sort of technique list with QR codes because, you know, if you're out and about or on holiday. So yeah, I think that's a very good little booklet. Kerry was there with Rachel and Emma. Obviously she always says like our patches go, you know, because we're oldies, been here a while. Most people have got them, so you could ask for their patches. But then we got also, which I was tres excited about, Stanley the Stegosaurus. A lot of the reason I booked onto the workshop, I did really like the Ermine though as well, so that was a bonus because I did want this patch obviously, but I had a really good time like I always do at the workshops. Managed to find Joe and Nicola in the queue and Hannah, and then also Kirsty was on our table and Jackie. So yeah, it's nice to see familiar faces from Q, but I have to say it's obviously Q, we do see a lot of the familiar faces in the majority of the workshop. This was a lot of different faces, which was nice. Also saw Erin and Simon as well, that I know from Q, I've got to know. So that's always nice to bump into people you know and say hello and have a chat and catch up. And we were actually all sat on 3 tables close to each other. So yeah, my patch. I did show Kerry my Imaginist that you will have seen in the video. I did sort of say, can I show you my Imaginist, and passed it to her and said, pull the head. And she was like, oh, she got quite excited at the head, and then I said, pull the tail, and up and down. I don't know if I've shown you my Imaginist actually. Let me grab it. Oh, sorry, bad angle. I hadn't finished it, had I? I sort of started it. Right, here you go, back to that. This is what I'm talking about. So this is my Imaginist's design. So it's yellow, pink, blue and cream. This is my design that I've done. This is actually eyes and face and the petals around the top here. So she looks a bit like, but that's because you can pull her head up, and then if you turn around and pull her tail, it pulls the head back on. So, I mean, it is a monster competition. I want to do something a bit different. And I had thought of this while I was asleep one night. And then I've done the blue and white striped legs because I know Kerry's obviously enjoying her blue and white striped at the moment, with her theme of all her china. And then it's wearing a little luau grass skirt. So I've called this Leilani the luau monster because her head detaches so she can do the limbo. And she's wearing a grass skirt. But what I did was, because the way I designed this, I did the body, obviously the head and body separate, standard head and body from the pattern. But before I stuffed the body, I did the tail and threaded it up through and sewed it into the head. and then stuff the body. So you can put your sort of thumb on the back and you can feel that moving, because essentially it's just a chain up from the tail. So it's sort of resting on the back part of the fabric, if that makes sense. So it's not within all of the stuffing. Because I think had I stuffed this and then tried to thread it through, the up and down motion would not work as well, because it's getting caught on all the stuffing in the middle. Sorry, yeah. So it's literally sort of down the side here, and you can sort of feel it with your thumb if you put your thumb on their back. But you can't actually see it through. You can see obviously my stitching there for my blue, but you can't see the pink through the cream. But it just makes that movement a bit easier. So that's my Imaginists, if you haven't seen that on my Instagram. So Kerry got a little bit excited when I showed her the head comes on and off. She's got to judge that next week. So we will see how we get on. Obviously, we've had a couple of silvers. A gold would be lovely, but we will see what she says. See what other designs come in sort of last minute, because there's not many at the moment I could see, but I don't always see all of them. I look on the Imaginist page and see what's tagged, but I do sometimes miss them. And then when I see they've posted them onto their stories, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that one. So anyway, yeah, the photo showed she was quite pleasantly surprised and excited by the head that goes up and down. So yeah, I'm very tired. I've got up and been out for brunch this morning, but I'm going to carry on with the Ermine. I had to do a click and collect for a couple of balls of camel, which I grabbed from Rachel and kindly said, please could you keep the box? I don't need the box because of going home on the train. So he just emptied it out of the box. She's like, I've got a parcel for you. I went, yes, you have. That's what I've come over for. So 2 balls of camel for a secret project that I'm working on. I had to steal from Stash, and this was to replace the Stash, but then I would need a bit of extra camel. So. And I handily got my tote bag with my order, so then I could put my whole kit in it, which was helpful. So yeah, we did go up to London earlier, so we had like an early dinner just along the road in a restaurant. But we went to the Lego shop, Lego store in Leicester Square, because I've always wanted to go in, and there's always been a queue outside to get in. There was no queue. I bought myself a little Lego London bus, just a small one, and got a free little Lego passport. I mean, I'm a grown adult, but why not? Then we went over to the M&M store, because my friend Claire had not ever been in the M&M store, so I had to show her that. I had a slight incident with M&M Pick and Mix. I was pulling it really slowly, and then all of a sudden a load came out, so I ended up with quite an expensive bag of M&M Pick and Mix. Then we went to Covent Garden, had a nosy round. I went into the Cambridge Satchel Company and came out with a bag. So, you know, it's probably good that we weren't up there for longer, because I may have spent more money. But it was a really nice day. We had Claire and I had a nice dinner while we were there, catching up with everybody that I know, and obviously meeting some new people. I met 2 of my subscribers. Thank you for coming up and saying hello. It does always mean the world when you do. So it was, I believe, Susan or Suzanne. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. I think I heard you Susan, but do correct me in my comments, because I'm awful. And also Sheridan. But I think she spells it is Sheridan slightly differently. So hello to both of you. Thank you very much. I always get a bit flummoxed when people come up to me, because I'm like, I'm just a weirdo YouTubing. So it's always, but it's lovely. It's always really nice for you guys to come up and say hello, because obviously you all look at me and smile, like I've said before, and because you know me from watching me, and I don't know you guys. Because especially with YouTube, even if I sometimes click on people's profiles, they don't obviously use photos for security or obvious reasons. So it's difficult. I don't know what people look like. I wish YouTube had like a little separate chat function, so I could get to know you all a bit more like that, and also learn what you look like, so then I can actually say hello to you guys if I bump into you. But yeah, I'm going to stop waffling now. I'm going to carry on with my Ermine. I will put here some photos that are non-crochet related from the day yesterday. But as always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing what a workshop is like. If you've never been to one before, they are good to go to. Don't ever worry. you will chat to random people that you've never met before, and you will likely, like I have, made some really good friends through it. So, and it's just all like-minded people who like Toft. So if you like Toft, never be afraid to go, because you guys know I'm quite an anxious person. But yeah, so never be afraid to go. Just bite the bullet and do it, because I did once. I booked myself on to my very first one and then thought, oh, I've just booked myself on that on my own. Oh well. But yeah, there you go. Just before I go, slight quick dental update. Had my consultation, very expensive. Booked in for a root canal a week on Friday. Yes, so he thinks it's savable, so we're going in for that 30 to 40 minute appointment. So this time next weekend, I'll probably be bricking it a bit, so you guys can all send me some supportive messages, and then I'll let you know the following weekend how I got on. If there's no video the following weekend, you know it went a bit peaked on. But there you go. Anyway, have a good rest of your weekend, and thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye.